Welcome to the Kiosk Presents. I'm Steve. Today I'm interviewing the great-great-granddaughter of Emily Post. It's Lizzie Post. She's talking to us about wedding etiquette. It's so important to be polite, especially when there's so many emotions wrapped up in weddings. Thank you for joining us and helping us learn a little bit more about it today.
Thank you so much for having me, Steve.
All right. Well, we actually interviewed Daniel Post-Setting.
Yes.
I'm not sure his exact relation to you.
He's
about
my cousin.
digital etiquette.
Yeah, I was actually at that interview, just behind the scenes that day, being his support person. So yeah.
But we're actually very interested in, because there's a lot of digital wedding manners these days. Can you tell us a little about that?
Well, so it's really important to think about how we share our lives online and what kind of an impact that can have when it comes to a major life event like a wedding. And there are a couple things you want to think about. Number one, when you as the bride or groom start sharing details of your wedding, you want to be considerate about how you do that and how much you share. One, telling them every little decision that you make, that becomes an overshare, and you don't want to do that. But two, you want to consider the fact that many of these people weren't invited to your wedding, and they might feel a little put off by watching all of this go down on your feed. But at the same time, others are thinking, wow, I can't go to the wedding, or I'm not invited to the wedding, but isn't it so nice that I get to share in the event and see what it was like by seeing all these photos or hearing what the decisions being made are. So you kind of want to find that happy balance in the middle of posting a little bit, maybe something really special or interesting, and leaving every little decision, off of the feed. It's also really important, Steve, that during the wedding, guests not post photos or tweet about the wedding. It's really, truly the bride and groom's day. We want to, A, be focused on them, not on the devices in our hands, but B, we want to make sure that the bride and groom have the first chance to post photos of their wedding.
Now, I know weddings are getting more complicated. They're not following the traditional mold as much as
Right.
people strike out and want to do things their own way.
Sure.
Like, I know a lot of people are having destination weddings. Do you have any advice for not angering people about your choice of like a destination in something like that?
What, you don't want to go to Alaska in the middle of December? I think that, you have to be respectful of the bride and groom and understand that it's their choice to be married in the place that they wish to be married in. However, you don't have to accept the invitation. The only thing that you need to remember when it comes to any wedding, whether it's a destination or not, is that when you do receive the invitation, that creates an obligation to you as the guest to send a gift, whether you decline it or accept it. And one of the reasons I've partnered with Bank of America this summer is because a lot of people feel a lot of pressure when it comes to weddings and all of the gifts and all of the financial sort of woes that start to be put upon you by having to attend this wonderful event you really want to be a part of. And the Bank America card allows you to earn 1% cash back on all your purchases, 2% cash back on groceries, and 3% cash back on gas. And this means that you're going to be earning some rewards for yourself as you go through purchasing all of these things that come with the wedding.
The weddings do get expensive.
They do.
It's why I eloped. But no one could quite explain the concept of the etiquette of a surprise wedding. None of the guests knew it was going to happen. But
That's awesome.
But it's one of those things. There's a lot of things on weddings where different people are expecting different things, and finding the balance between them and knowing the right thing to do, not to anger a lot of people, is really hard.
It is really hard, and I think that one of the best things that the bride and groom and their parents can do is to sit down and have a really candid but respectful conversation about expectations. It's so difficult because the media puts so much pressure on us to have these big, elaborate events. And that might not really be in your parents' budget or be in your budget to be able to provide that kind of event. But at the same time, you really want it to be something special and meaningful. So I think as you sit down with the people that you're planning the wedding with, you want to say, these are the things that are most important to me. And you need to take a minute before you have that sit down and say to yourself, the most important thing is that I'm actually marrying the person that I love and committing to them for life. Because as soon as you start thinking about the caterer and the cake and the flowers and the DJ or the band or the tent or the location, all of a sudden you start to forget the most important part, which is the bonding of your lives.
That makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
once you're focused, then all the other details you can give and take on all the rest of the things because you're
Exactly.
getting the one thing that was most important out of the wedding.
Exactly.
All right. Now, you were saying gifts. What if they're attending what if they're having plural events? Like a bunch of my friends that I'm very happy to have them next week are getting married,
Yeah.
but they're having a event they're having a destination wedding,
Okay.
followed by the week after, more locally, having a barbecue cookout and all that. I'm
Okay.
attending both. What would you recommend as far as gifts? Do I have to get a gift for each event?
No, I think that their barbecue and cookout sort of is a way to have a reception for all of those who weren't able to attend the actual event. And I think that because you've been able to attend the event, you know, you buy one gift, you don't buy multiple gifts for them. If you've been invited to a wedding shower, that would be different. It's truly a separate event where the focus is gifts. So I think it's absolutely fine for you to purchase the one gift and then attend the barbecue and support them and celebrate with them that day without having to bring an extra gift.
Is there anywhere people can go if they have questions or want to learn more about wedding etiquette in particular?
Absolutely. They can go to emilypost.com, and if you have any more questions about how to earn or save during the wedding season, you can go to bankofamerica.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Lizzie, for joining us today here on the Kiosk Presents.
Thank you. Take care.